All right, guys. So today's a little bit of a different video. I'm gonna try and do a tier list. It's the first one on the channel, so I apologize if it's shitty or if you guys disagree. But if you disagree, just comment below and tell me why you disagree. Of course, it's a tier list, so there's going to be different opinions, but tell me why you disagree, and we can, talk it out. Join the Discord, please. We can talk it out through there, too. There's other members that, you have discussions with and stuff. But, yeah, guys, consider leaving a like, comment below what your thoughts are on this tier list, and make sure you subscribe. But, yeah, with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the video. All right, so this tier list I made, it's my own opinion, right? It's a PvP based tier list, to be honest, right? It is a PvP based tier list. So I'm thinking of the unit while going up against other people. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get into the tier list. So we got the SS class, right? The SS class is what I think is the pinnacle of red units at the moment in Global Grand Cross. So we got Gauther, Lost Vein, and Keo. I don't think I gotta explain why these three are in the SS range, because it's pretty obvious, right? We got Gauther here, who's a beast. We have Lost Vein Meliodas, who's a beast, and then we have Keo, who's a beast. So we have three wild animals in SS, and it makes sense, right? I mean, Keo is new, right? He is literally new, so I understand why people might not see him as SS, but he's definitely SS tier. If you've seen videos, I did okay, I don't know what that was. That scared me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but regardless, I'm just gonna go back into it. If you guys don't know, right, Keo is insane. He has Cold Destruction, Scorch, so he has the whole build for him, so he's good, right? So I mean, Keel's good. I have a video on him. Watch the video. If you haven't already, do watch the showcase. He's good. So then we go down. We go to the S tier. Now, S tier is a little questionable. Myself, I couldn't decide. I just couldn't decide whether to have these units here, above, or below. So I guess we'll get into it. Escanor. Red Escanor. So right off the bat, I know people are going to question this. Red Escanor is an amazing unit. Please do not get it wrong. I do, however, think that Red Escanor has fallen from SS tier to S tier simply because he is very codependent on Arthur and Gauther. He is very codependent on those two. His passive skill to buff up his HP stats by 50%, crazy. Makes him a tank. And he also gives himself an amplify, even though it's only 30%, right? Because it's one buff, he can still do damage. Plus, he has charge and fire. But the thing is, if he's not being buffed, he's really not crazy at all. In all honesty, he's not crazy at all in the slightest. So again, I'm gonna put this here because there are ways to get by. There's ways to get by this Red Escanor, right? You have Blue King, who can petrify. You have Zeldris, who can crit if you build him up right. You have Blue Arthur, who's a good counter to him. You just have a lot of units that's a good counter to Escanor these days. So I think he has fallen a little bit from SS to S, right? So that's just how it is. Units come and go. They have their time, but it passes. It is what it is, but still an amazing unit nonetheless. Still very, very, very usable in PvP. So then we get to Levi. Now, Levi, I think he has a solid spot in S tier simply because when he crits, he's a monster. He's actually insane, and he can guarantee a crit when you attack the person with the lowest HP. So it's always going to be a crit guarantee no matter what. So keep that in mind as well. He also has Despair, which Blue Zeldris has, and you guys already know that recovers 15% HP for every crit, or not every crit, but for when he performs a critical strike on an enemy. So yes, that also factors into his kit. So nothing too crazy in all honesty, but I think he has a solid spot in S tier simply because he can dish out crazy numbers, man, crazy numbers. So I do think he has a solid spot right here in S. I don't think he's any higher. I don't think he's any lower. So yeah, that's Levi. So S tier for him. Red Zeldris. Okay, Red Zeldris. Honestly, I had thought to put him in SS, but I think I might have just been like, I think I might have just been gassing a little bit. I love Zeldris, but I don't think Red Zeldris would have made it to SS tier because he is a support unit like that. That is big. It's just his first skill depletes orbs. Not that powerful unless you build him with a certain gear. But other than that, it's not that powerful. He disables recovery on his second card, which can be usable. But again, not the craziest. And then he does crit more often than the blue one. I will give him that. But I build him with attack and crit damage. He does massive damage. Like, he does do a lot of damage. But at the same time, you want to build him with HP and defense so he has more longevity. So other than being a support unit, he doesn't really have too much else going for him, in all honesty. Like, he really doesn't. So that's why I think he has a solid spot in S. I do think he is one of the best supporters in the game, but I just don't think that he is SS tier, in all honesty. So Zeldris is going to be at an S for me. Right, Derriere, when she first came out, she was SS for me. Just doesn't matter. SS, don't care. Now she has fallen because there's a counter to her. You can attack, disable her, and you can go ahead and like one turn her. And realistically, you can go ahead and remove her buffs. What else can you do? You can go ahead. You can just do a lot of things to counter Derriere nowadays, right? And if you don't get a card with her, you can't do, like, her debuff or her buffs go away. So then she's back to square one where she needs to build herself up, which can be a problem because, as you guys know, there's just too many good units nowadays in PvP, and she's just not a consistent unit, in all honesty. Her damage output, crazy. Her damage output is crazy, but if you go second, and you're facing a team that either has Petrify, Attack Disable, can disable buffs, can mitigate damage, or can remove buffs, you're not doing anything with Derriere. I do think, however, if she gets that one-hitter quitter, it's done. You're done. No coming back from it. I have lost Derriere a couple times, and it's not because like of her herself. It's because the units by her side are strong enough to get me low enough so she can do massive damage. You know what I mean? And she builds up her ultimate. But yeah, she is S tier for me, and that's where she's going to stay. And as far as A tier units go, I think A tier units make sense. I think the only one on the A tier that's iffy is Arthur. Let me explain why I put Arthur here on the A tier. Arthur's very, very good. When he buffs the units, obviously, mono red. Very, very good. But the problem with that is he's only really used just to buff units, right? Nowadays, support type units have stuff that they can actually attack with. Like, example, Zeldris. Zeldris has a depletion, but he also has another card which disables recovery, which does good damage, right? Arthur only has the one. He only has disabled recoveries, like, that's it. He only has that. And he has a buffer. His ultimate is really good, too. I can't take that away from him. And his passive is great as well. But other than mono red, you're not seeing Arthur being played, really. Like, you're really not. Unless you have one of those wonky teams you fight. You're not seeing anything else from Arthur. Like, you're not seeing him on another team. You're just literally only seeing him on mono red. There's no other place for him, right? So that's why I personally put him in A tier, because if he could be run on every other team like Green Gauther, he would definitely be SS tier, right? The Halloween Gauther that just came out, if Arthur was like that, then without a doubt, he would be SS, but he's A tier just because he's only on one team, really, and that's the mono red team. So that's why I put him there. Again, we're gonna have different opinions, but that's why I put him there, right? But everyone else on the list of A tier, I think it's good, right? Let me know in the comments if you guys have any other problems with it. But I think everyone else is good, right? So I don't really need to explain it. Demon Meliodas is he's still good, but he's not crazy. Hellbrum as well. Hellbrum's really used on only the Kingbrum team. Hauser is good. If you build Hauser up, he's great. But now that we have Blue Demon Meliodas and now that we have Rugal, he doesn't really have a place on the Pierce team, so it's unfortunate. And then Red King is literally on the back, so I don't really have to explain that much too. Yeah, so B tier units. Gil Thunder. I'm gonna say this right now. Gil Thunder is definitely like a solid B because he only has his taunt. That is mainly the only thing about him that's useful. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's really the only thing that's useful about Gil Thunder. He can be tanky. Unfortunately, though, most of the units have AoE attacks, so Gil Thunder is not really doing much. So it's, it's unfortunate, but hopefully we get another Gil Thunder guard in the future. But yeah, as of right now, he's B tier. All right, Meliscula, she can go ahead and stay here as well. Really, just use her to keep people alive. That's it. Just literally using her to keep people alive, and she doesn't really provide much other than that, really. If you run her with Kyo, though, she's insane. But other than keeping people alive, you're not going to use her. Red Merlin, I guess you could move her up to A tier if you really wanted to, but it's just nowadays people don't run her. Freeze isn't that great anymore, in all honesty, and her skill 1 isn't that strong as well. So if you want to, cool, but it's either Green Merlin or nothing nowadays. So if you want to move her up, I can see it. I can see why you would put her at A tier. I would not be against it. Me personally, I just think she's B tier. You don't really see her like ran a lot, so you're just not gonna use her. It's just plain and simple. Red Nunchuck Band, same thing. You really don't see him used a lot, but when he is used, he's useful because if he has weakness. He has weakness. That is not something to laugh about. Weakness is a very strong effect. Plus, he can, D-rank skills, and, he has a good kit going for him. His passive is kind of but other than that, he has a really good kit going for him. He also has Snatch on his ultimate, so can be really useful. C tier units. Trash. Look, I love Esterosa. I do like Red Esterosa, but I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible, and Red Esterosa is just a unit that is not good, man. He is just not good. With Kyo, he's great, because Cold Destruction got buffed. Kyo given Ignites. Red Esterosa, he can also disable Recovery, so they can't take it off. But man, he also has Blackout. I can't forget that. And for every debuff, he gets 10%, but you don't really want to be debuffed. So, yeah, that pass is kind of stupid. Yeah, just C tier. I can't really see him going above C tier. In all honesty, I can really see him going below C tier, too. If someone gave me a good argument, valid argument, I can see him going below B or C tier. Just unfortunate. Red Gallon. Red Gallon, he's interesting. I like what they did with his passive, but I don't think they executed it in a good way. So unfortunately, he's C tier. You don't really see Red Gallon at all in the game. You don't see him at all in the game. It's kind of crazy. You don't really see him at all. So it's unfortunate. Same thing with Gilia, man. Gilia, she has a good kit going for her, in all honesty. She can remove buffs. She has Ignites. Her passive is good for deathmatch, but since it's PvP, that doesn't really do shit. So she's staying at C tier. Okay, Matrona Diane, same thing. Just terrible. It's, oh my god, I can't even speak. It's just terrible what they did with her kit. I know she's a start a game kind of character, but it's unfortunate what they did with her kit because I think it's either Shatter or Pierce on her skill 1, and it's not that strong, and then she I believe decreases defense on her second one. I believe so. Not that great. It's unfortunate. Red Monspeed, same thing. Red Monspeed sucks. He's not going to be good unless you get a lot of Ignites, which Kyo does have. Unfortunately, AoE weak point is not that great, so yeah, you're not gonna be really using him. The only thing I can give Monspeed is that he can be 6'6" easily, which puts him I guess gives him an advantage, I guess. To be honest though, other people all these people in C tier can literally be 6'6" easily as well because they're on tickets, so I can't really make that argument either. So I don't know. I I don't know because I feel like Monsby, if you really wanted to argue, could be B, like just like literally edging on B, like literally holding on to dear life at B tier. But I don't think he's worse than C tier. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did shit on Monspeed for a very long time, but I don't think he's that. Like, I don't think he's like, you can't use him. Like, literally, I don't think you can't use him. So yeah, that's the C tier. D tier, trash. Don't care. Mono, she got buffed, quote unquote buffed on global, but she still can't really be ran. Like, it's just, no, I don't even want to get into it. Her kit sucks. She has Sever. For some ungod known reason, she has Sever as an effect on her skill 1 or skill 2, whatever. I don't even really look at the character, right? And then she has what? I think almost close to 100% crit chance. It might be like 90 or so. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, it's so stupid. Like, they could have gave her Spike. If she had Spike, she would be way more usable. But she doesn't. They gave her Sever, which was dumb. Roxy, she has a AoE explosion. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Because Red King has that, right? And he doesn't hit that hard either. The only reason Red King's ran is because of his passive ability, and his ultimate is very, very strong. Another reason why I put him in A tier. But Roxy doesn't have a good passive, right? And her skills aren't that great. So I think, honestly, Red Esterosa, he kind of does better than both of them. Like, if we're being honest, he does better than both of them. He can be 6/6 easily. He has Blackout. He has Cold Destruction. So, like, he's doing better than both of these units. So you can honestly argue any unit in C tier is doing better than even Red Gilia. Like, you can argue is better than those two, right? Again, agree to disagree, but this is just my opinion. This is literally just my opinion, so agree to disagree. And then finally, we got the trash units you can't really use. Yeah, no, Benimaru's trash, Deldry's trash, she's shit, garbage, complete and utter, like, monstrosity, shouldn't have been out of the game. And then you have Halloween Meliodas, which is absolutely garbage. So you can't use these characters. Halloween Meliodas 1 is exclusive, and then Deldry doesn't do anything but troll. Benimaru, no. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you can't use those characters. This is my personal tier list. Please don't take it to heart. Don't take this tier list to heart. It's not meant to piss people off. It's not meant to make people salty. It's literally my opinion. So hopefully you guys can understand that. I think it's a pretty decent tier list. Obviously, other people are going to have their opinions, but I think it's a pretty good tier list. Again, this is just red units. This is literally just red units, nothing else. But I mean, if you guys have any other, like, you know, thoughts or opinions, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear them. I love to, you know, debate with you guys. I would love it. Hop into the Discord or whatever. Do whatever you need to do. I like doing these because it's fun. It's honestly fun. It's just meant to be entertaining. Please, again, don't take it to heart, because I know people do take everything to heart sometimes. So, again, just my opinion. Again, I think it's pretty good, though. I do. I think every unit here is in their right place. Some you could argue could be higher or lower. I agree. But I think for the most part, overall, everyone's in their rightful place. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Cross content if you did enjoy the video. Yeah, guys, but with that said, I will see you all in the next video.